Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning again, and I am feeling more settled, a little bit better about where I'm at after this first week of being unemployed, of not having my job. It definitely took like Monday and Tuesday to kind of figure out what's the best thing for me to do each day, how to structure my day, and not upset about it. It's been great to have time to do things I like to do, to read more, to work on these videos and get a routine going with like creating videos and editing them, because that's something I love doing. This week I'm already I have my mindset on how my days are gonna go, what my schedule and routine are gonna be, and I'm feeling much more confident in that, and it gives me more peace to know what I'm gonna be doing every day to move forward, to get through things, to get through all the things I need to do, but also to not just sit here and wonder what I'm supposed to be doing with myself. One of the things that I have been doing that I figured out early last week that I started doing was picking up my book first thing in the morning, or one of my books, because I have a few that I'm reading, but picking up one of my books every morning and just reading for a while, hopefully for like an hour, maybe a little bit more if I don't have a huge amount of work to do that I needed to get to immediately, or I didn't need to go out to like an estate sale. So a couple of days I had to get up, go to an estate sale, but before I got out of the house, I was able to fit in, 30 minutes of reading, an hour of reading, something like that. So getting up and starting my day with my books and my reading has been so nice. And I'm glad that I started doing that instead of immediately jumping into, say, cleaning the house. Or what I probably would have done is get up every morning and just start packing up all the orders that I need to ship off to their buyers. So instead of immediately jumping up and saying, okay, let me pack these orders, let me go to the post office, drop them off, because they're gonna get scanned in later in the day and sent off anyway. They have to, getting them there this morning is not gonna get them to the person any faster. Just giving myself a little bit of time in the morning to do one of my favorite things has been really great. And so that's what I did this morning before I even started talking to you. I just started reading a little bit, and it was fantastic. Great start to my Monday. And then I went and started packing up orders, because Monday's always a busy one. We have the orders from the weekend that I didn't get to, that I need to get out today. So that's my big priority for the day, is get my online orders out. But fantastic news that I sold many things this weekend and will have money coming in to pay the bills, because that's the important thing. So yeah, I won't go too much onto my routine, but I may talk a little bit more about in the future as I adjust, because things will change when I go back to school in a couple of weeks, and then I'm gonna have to get some sort of job. If the job that I originally thought I was gonna have part-time, working from home, does not happen, I'm gonna have to get something, because the reselling is too volatile. I've learned my lesson from trying to do it full-time before many times, or trying to build up a full-time income from it. I just can't seem to do it at this stage. Maybe in the future it'll get to that point, but I don't know. I'm getting better at it. Every year I notice that I'm finding better items because I know what people are buying. So that is always a work in progress, but I need to find a part-time job. So my schedule will probably adjust, but hopefully, actually one of the things about reading in the morning, even though like I'm not always reading my history books, I'm sometimes reading my fiction, my novels. I feel like this is getting me in a good space for when I start school. When I get up in the morning, first thing is gonna be looking at my online courses. What do I need to be reading today? What do I need to be preparing in my, what are my assignments for this week? and sort of making that my first thing I do in the morning. And then if I need to have get a reading done, get some readings done, which I know I will, I can work on those and get that out of the way first, and then I can move to, you know, my self-employment, my job, whatever I'm doing that brings in money. That needs to be also the big priority of each day. Go do that after that. But I think this morning reading, not only do I just love doing it, I'm so grateful to be able to do it and be in a situation where I am nervous about the unemployment, and I am looking for ways to make money, bring in money. I have to do that. So that does give me some anxiety, but it's been so nice that I can still like do this at, I can do it at a slower pace than I have in the past, when I was like, I immediately like had to go find a new job. I mean, in the past I was working like 3 jobs at a time to balance out the fact that I was always working temporary jobs and leaving jobs for other opportunities, but they would only be part-time. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, I did want to tell you about starting my day off reading and how great that's been, but I also wanted to share a library book haul. Another great thing I was able to do last week is go pick up a hold item that I've been waiting for, and then to just browse and see what was there, pick up a few new books, and I hope to do that at some point every week when I have time to do that, because it's just a nice thing that I love to do. It's like shopping, but I don't have to spend the money. So I did pick up a very small haul of books and some DVDs. So I'm gonna show you a few of those. Or I'm gonna show you what I picked up, not just a few of them. So the first thing I'm gonna show you is, these are the Maya and Sandra mysteries. So this is the 4th and 5th books in this series. I have been listening to the first 3 on audiobook for the last few months. I've just been listening to one every once in a while. So when I went and just browsed the mystery section like I like to do, and I like to look out for mysteries that either look like historical or, you know, my kind of cup of tea, or my little cozy mysteries that we all know look a certain way, those little paperback spines that we see. I spotted these, and I said, I wonder if these are the ones I haven't read yet, and indeed they are. They're the next ones in the series, and I was so excited to be able to pick these up and read them physically, because as much as I love audiobooks and they're a lifesaver, reading them physically is actually much more enjoyable for me, and I retain more. I get more from the books, and I just really like it. So this is really awesome that they had these. So the Maya and Sandra mysteries are about these 2 moms who have teenagers in the South Portland, Maine high school, and they, of course, someone gets murdered, as always happens, and Maya's a private investigator. Sandra is the wife of a senator. They went to high school together, the same high school, I believe, if I remember correctly, and end up solving murders together. And this one is the continuation of that. I love these characters. I love the kind of world that Lee Hollis has created, and such a good series. Highly recommended if you like cozy mysteries. And with having the 2 main female characters together who are friends and work together, it gives it a little different twist than the like solo bookshop owner or candle store owner, one I read recently that I enjoyed, you know, the little shop owner who solves mysteries as an amateur sleuth. Maya is a former police officer and is now become a private investigator. So she's got she's got the training and the skills and stuff. So it's just a little bit different, and I love reading about female friendship in books. So having it in one of my cozy mysteries, I think, is why I like this one so much. Also, I just think Lee Hollis just writes really well, and I was looking, I thought I'd seen that he was like a sitcom writer, and in the bio in the back, it's actually Lee Hollis is the pen name for Rick Kopp, who is a veteran Hollywood screenwriter. He wrote for The Golden Girls, Wings, Scooby-Doo, Teen Titans, and Barbershop. So yeah, a veteran writer. So this does read in some ways. I mean, it's still very much a cozy mystery, but I think TV writers are good at writing cozy mysteries. I've read a few before that I think it fits really well with their writing skills. So he also, with his sister Holly Simonson, also co-authors under the Lee Hollis name the Haley Powell Food and Cocktail Mysteries, because I did see one of those on the shelf at the library, and I noticed that there's a bunch in that series, and that got me very excited because I think this is the last one, or at least the latest one. I don't know if he's writing more in the series. I hope he is, but even if he's not, then I know I can go and dig into this extensive series of the Haley Powell mysteries, and I bet I will really enjoy those as well. So was really excited to see that he has other series, and I think he has a new one out that I added to my Libby list, like for a whole new series. And I was excited when I see the name now on some books, I just go, oh, instant add to my list, because they're just such enjoyable reads and I know I'll like them. So that was really awesome. The library had that. And then you'll see that I got some DVDs here. So I'm just putting them so you can see that I've got season one and season 2 of Annika, which is a British show that it was on PBS, but I never got around to watching it, which is kind of insane because it's set in Scotland. It's about the Marine Crime Unit, and they do, crimes that happened in the water. So it's the Marine Crime Unit in Scotland, and like, who even am I that I did not watch this already? It's been recommended by one of my coworkers, and I was like, I should have watched this ages ago because of how much I love Scotland. It's just, sometimes it's hard for me to get access to the shows if they're only on certain streaming platforms, and I just never get around to watching them. I need to make a more concerted effort. Also, because my library's great at getting these. So like all those PBS shows that come from Britain, I wouldn't be able to watch it right away, but once they come out on DVD, my library gets them because they're very popular. And I should just make sure that I'm on top of that and seeing which ones they have, making sure that if a new show comes out, I make note to just check with my library to see when they get them. But yeah, I did actually already watch the first episode of this, and it was very good so far. It's got a different little bit of a style to it than I was expecting, than what you normally see. So if you've watched it, you can let me know if you like that. I enjoyed it so far, and I'm looking forward to continuing and watching the rest of these. And then the book I picked up that I had put on hold was Octavia Butler's Kindred. I've been meaning to read this for a very long time. It's a classic, it's an important book, and it's also got time travel, which, even though it's going to be difficult, it's not just like, oh, traveling to the past to fix something or do something. It's going to be a tough read. I know that for sure. I think I'm actually going to start this today and dig into it. But I think because I feel like it's going to be a tough read, that I've been putting it off. But I watched the TV adaptation because it popped up on my TV from Hulu. I guess it came out a few years ago, but it just came onto Hulu. So I watched it, and it was fantastic. Unfortunately, if you haven't watched it and you then want to go, I still recommend going to watch it, but it does end with a cliffhanger. It's sort of unresolved because I think they were expecting to get a second series, and they didn't. And I'm really disappointed in that, because I think it would have gone and been just another fantastic second season, but unfortunately they didn't. So when it ended, there's been a few TV shows and movies I've watched recently where I said, this is adapted from a book that I've been meaning to read for a long time. Another example of that is I watched The Handmaid's Tale, and then I watched The Testaments, which was also on Hulu. And I've been saying I'm going to read The Handmaid's Tale forever. And it's also like a difficult read that I just don't, I need to tackle it. And I just didn't feel like I was ready to. And I think I'm just going to have to do it. But I'm going to start with Kindred because I really enjoyed that TV show so much. And I said, this is the time to go ahead and start on this. And I'm really looking forward to reading this. And then the final book, because after I found this one, I just said, okay, you've got enough books now to read. You have stacks of books at home too. I mean, there's stacks of books behind me, plenty of stuff to read. So don't grab too much more. And I'll probably go again this week and pick up more library books. That's how it is. But I always have to browse sort of the nonfiction section, the new stuff, just to see what is coming out, what's out there. And this sounded fascinating. It's The Insatiable Machine, How Capitalism Conquered the World by Trevor Jackson. And I had not heard of this from anywhere. It's just something I saw on the library bookshelves. And one of my strong interests in history is the history of capitalism. And I would love to explore that in my future studies, but I have way too much reading to do to get more knowledge on that. I just haven't read that much about it. I have a couple of books on my shelf that I haven't got to yet. So why am I grabbing this one? But I did because it looks really interesting. And this just probably more of like a broad overview, which would be really helpful. If it's not, then I probably should find just like a broad overview of the history of capitalism to get me into that and more knowledgeable about it for my future studies and my interest. But this looked really interesting because of that, because of my interest in the history of capitalism. And I'm excited to see where this goes, or what he talks about in this, and learning so much more about this. So yeah, sorry, it's the light from my sliding glass door. It wants to shine off the shiny Mylar cover. So that is my little library stack of books that I picked up. And there it is again in a nice little stack that I can actually hold up versus sometimes, I get ones and they're just too much to hold up. So keeping it manageable this time. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go just get started on Kindred, and then of course it's chore time for the day, and then keep working on the business, make some of that money that I need to make. So I can't spend all day reading this, but I'm looking forward to starting it. And I'm looking forward to spending more time reading in the mornings like I have been, and making that the start to my day. I love that. And have you ever been able to do that? Have you all been able to ever say, I'm gonna wake up early and do my reading before I go to work? Or you set aside time in the evening, say, this is my reading time after a cooked dinner and everything's cleaned up for the night. This is my time to get that in, to try to not only get in the reading that you love doing, but also just to calm the nerves and prepare yourself for the stuff you have to do every day. I'm curious if any of you have done that and what your experience is of that. I may start a little challenge to myself of like getting in a certain number of pages in the morning, or just read for 2 hours in the morning, get up a little bit earlier, and so that I have time before I need to get to, say, like an estate sale, or I need to get orders. Hopefully lots of orders will come in, and I'll have so many orders that I'll be like, whoa, I gotta read before I have to spend, half my day working on packing orders. That would be a great day. Because that would mean I'm doing well. But I may start a little challenge like that, like get up a little earlier and get my reading done, something like that. Maybe block off a couple hours where I don't look at my phone too. You guys know the struggle with the looking at the phone all the time. So keep the phone away and try to read without looking at my phone for a few hours, something like that. But thank you so much for watching today and being part of me trying to figure out what I'm doing next and what I'm doing now. And making reading a priority is definitely one of the things I want to do and one of the things that I hope to do. So thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.